What is up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is the Fantasy Football Mafia. This is everything relating to fantasy football. Okay, I give you guys my personal recommendations, thoughts, ideas. We talk about start, sits, injuries, anything and everything when it comes to fantasy football. We talk about it here on this channel. So guys, my name is Rodney and I'm going to try my best to get this going and to give you guys the best information I have or that I can find out to my community. I have a channel already. It's called Rodney's World. It's a crypto channel. I talk about crypto. I love it. I also wanted to start a channel that, focuses on fantasy football. I love fantasy football, guys, and I hear a lot of people, talking about it on a podcast and so on and so forth. I'm just like, you know what? I can do this. Screw it. So you know what? I'm here. I'm going to start this channel. I'm really excited about getting this going, guys. I really want to make this channel something big and just do something that I enjoy doing, right? Which is talking about fantasy football and giving you guys the best, advice, recommendations that I have, and ultimately help you guys win a championship, right? That's why we do fantasy football, right? We do fantasy football to win that championship at the end of the day. So a little bit about myself, guys. I am a veteran. I served 5 years active duty in the Marine Corps. I graduated from college and right now I work as a personal trainer. And, I just want to continue doing things that I enjoy doing. And that's really about me in a nutshell. I'm going to start kind of getting into a schedule and a routine here probably later on in the coming weeks, kind of get a schedule going, which is going to be good to, gauge on certain days what we're going to be talking about, so on and so forth, right? Just give me a couple days to kind of get everything going. And yeah, guys, but today in this video, we are going to talk about quarterback situations, start and sits for the quarterbacks. I figured that'd be kind of a good, first video to talk about and go forward from there. So one of the things I have pulled up here is the score. We're going to go through every game and talk about the start and sits of the quarterback situation, because right now I feel like the quarterback situation is kind of a mess. I don't know. It might just be me, but it can be kind of tricky. First up, we got the Chargers versus the San Francisco 49ers. We have Justin Herbert and we have Jimmy G. So Justin Herbert, guys, in my opinion, I would sit Justin Herbert. He's been struggling the last few weeks. I do think it has a lot to do with the primary lack of weapons he has on the wide receiver side. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are still out, so he's working with just a few, Palmer and Carter. So guys, and they're playing in San Francisco. San Francisco has a good defense. I would sit Justin Herbert for this week. That's my opinion. I think Justin Herbert has had a challenging season, and I would not trust him right now against the San Francisco 49ers. That's just my opinion. Jimmy G, on this game, I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G, guys. I think he's a solid quarterback, but I don't think he's anything special. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you guys my personal thoughts and opinion on it. I like Jimmy G. I think he's in a good matchup for this week. So if you guys have no other choice than to start Jimmy G because your other quarterback's on a bye, I would start Jimmy G. I think you would have a better chance against the Chargers than Justin Herbert against the 49ers. So again, that's my opinion. And again, I'll go into the other positions, wide receivers, running backs, defenses, kickers, so on and so forth, right? This is the first video, so just bear with me here, guys. I'm starting out small. We're going to talk about the quarterbacks. Okay, so next on the list, we have the Seahawks and Buccaneers. So Seahawks and Buccaneers, guys, I think is a good matchup for Tom Brady. I think this might be the week that Tom Brady does a little bit better than he has been the last couple weeks. Well, actually, I don't think he's done much all season, but my personal advice, I would start Tom Brady over Geno Smith. A lot of people are saying Tom Brady's going to have an excellent game against the Seahawks. I believe they're playing in Germany. I don't think he's going to have an excellent game. I do think he's going to have more of a successful game than he has in the recent weeks. I think Geno Smith is solid. He's not going to get you guys outstanding points. I don't think he's the type of quarterback that's going to win you the fantasy game if, your other players are kind of falling behind or slacking. I think he's going to do just enough where it's not going to hurt your fantasy, but it's not going to put you on top either. And if you guys are looking for a safe spot or a safe play, I would go with Geno Smith. I think he is a little bit more consistent and just a safer pick than Tom Brady. Now, again, if you guys don't have Geno Smith and you guys are just wondering whether you should start and sit Tom Brady, it really depends on who you guys have as the backup or secondary. I do think if you guys did have a choice, I think Tom Brady would be a solid pickup or a solid start for this week against the Seahawks. The Seahawks have been struggling a little bit on their defensive side, so I wouldn't even mind actually starting Geno Smith or Tom Brady in this matchup. If I had to choose one, I think I would rather pick Geno Smith. Take a look at the Denver Broncos and Titans. Now, guys, through the other videos I'm going to be posting out, this is going to be a little bit more better, a little bit more controlled, right? I'm just doing my best right now, so bear with me here, okay? I have another YouTube channel, so I kind of know how this works. It's just in the beginning, I just wanted to shoot you guys out a video and give you guys some content off the bat, okay? So we have the Denver Broncos and we have the Tennessee Titans. So this is not bad of a matchup. They are playing in Tennessee. I have Russell Wilson right now on my fantasy. He's actually on my bench. Russell Wilson has been struggling, as we all know. A lot of people have called him washed. I don't necessarily think he's washed. I think there's a lot going on. I don't think he's playing like Russell Wilson usually plays, right? We can all agree on that. But I don't blame it like primarily solely on him. But we'll see. Now, my recommendation on this, I would rather pick Russell Wilson over Malik Willis any day of the week. Nothing against Malik Willis. I think he's an okay quarterback, but again, okay, right? Okay is not really going to win you a fantasy game. It might, but I'd rather go for the safer option here and stream Russell Wilson. Now, if you, again, these are picks that you guys have really no one else to kind of start, or if you guys are wondering whether you should start Russell Wilson over who, you know, I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I think Russell Wilson is a solid choice over Malik Willis. How I think he's going to do against Tennessee, it depends. I know Tennessee played a hell of a game against KC, and they were able to keep Mahomes kind of controlled. So it really just depends. I do think Tennessee is going to come out favored to win this against Denver because Denver has an okay team. I think their quarterback situation and their wide receiver room is kind of a mess. I'm not a firm believer in Courtland Sutton. I think he struggled all season, and I think Jerry Jeudy, we really don't know what Jerry Jeudy has just because we've seen some shines and we've seen some lows. Do I think he's going to have a breakout game against Tennessee? Probably not. Russell Wilson is probably going to do okay. I expect him maybe to get 15 to 20 fantasy points in this game. Again, both these players are not a must start. So if you guys have other options at quarterback, I would take a look at that. But if you guys didn't, I would take Russell Wilson if you have him on your bench over Malik Willis. So going into the next game, guys, we have Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins. Guys, if you guys don't know, Miami Dolphins, that is my team. That is the team I grew up with, and I am a true diehard Dolphins fan, but there won't be no bias. I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion. I'm not going to tell you guys to pick Dolphins players just because I like them, okay? So in this matchup, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Miami Dolphins in Miami. We have Jacoby Brissett right now under center for the Cleveland Browns, and we have big old Tua Tagovailoa under center for the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is kind of a given, right? I think if someone had to pick, it would be obviously Tua Tagovailoa over Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is a okay backup choice. He's a solid backup choice if you guys have a quarterback right now on the bench because of bye. But if you guys have another quarterback situation, I would really look into that. A lot of people are favoring Jacoby Brissett to really throw on some good passing yards against the Dolphins defense. I'm not saying this because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I do think it's going to be a little different. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to go out there and sling it all over the Dolphins defense. Even though the defense for the Dolphins have been kind of injured and just kind of off lately the last few weeks, I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to be the type of quarterback that's going to come in and automatically start passing all over the Miami Dolphins defense. So if I had to pick, obviously I would go Tua over Jacoby Brissett. I'm not a big Jacoby Brissett fan. I think he's a solid quarterback. I just really would not start him. I know other people are saying to start him against the Dolphins defense. I wouldn't. That's my own personal recommendation. But again, we'll talk about kind of the matchups at the end of every Sunday, and we'll go from there and kind of see exactly how we kind of scored. So that is the matchup on that. Tua, I think, is going to have a wonderful game against Cleveland. Cleveland's secondary is not good at all. I think it's going to be a wonderful chance for Tua to shine like it has been for the last couple weeks. I'm really happy for him. The New Orleans Saints, they are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. We have Andy Dalton and we have Kenny Pickett. Looking at these two quarterbacks, I wouldn't pick either. But if I didn't have a choice, I would pick Andy Dalton over Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is a decent quarterback. I wouldn't, be obliged to start him, but I would rather pick Andy Dalton over Kenny Pickett. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is okay. I don't know if they have Watt back yet. If they have Watt, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, if they have Watt, it's going to be a game changer. I don't think so. I think Andy Dalton is going to put up a solid performance. I just don't really know how Kenny Pickett is going to do. He's been very inconsistent, and I wouldn't trust him starting quarterback in my fantasy roster. I would pick really any other quarterback at this point, maybe even Andy Dalton. But not much is going on this side of the ball. I do expect, on this side of the game, I do expect this to be a low-scoring game. I don't think much is going to come out of here. So, as you guys know, low-scoring game isn't going to produce that much fantasy points for a quarterback. So that's why I would do my best to try and just stay away from these two quarterbacks for this week. So going into the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears, this is a good, and I'll talk about the matchup here in a second, but this is going to be a good game. I favor Chicago to beat Detroit Lions, and they're playing in Soldier Field, so in Chicago. Guys, so I dropped Geno Smith for Justin Fields. This was when Justin Fields wasn't even like producing much yet. I had picked him up off the waiver because I had a feeling I had been reading about him. I was like, you know what, this guy might save my fantasy, because I had Russell Wilson in, and Russell Wilson was destroying me, right? And then I had Geno Smith in. Geno Smith was okay. He wasn't doing much. He was doing a little bit more than Russell Wilson, but I'm like, I need a solid quarterback that is going to really do some good damage to my opponent and give me some good fantasy points. So I picked up Justin Fields and dropped Geno Smith, and it was probably the best decision I've ever made. Picking up Justin Fields, I think, really saved my fantasy. I do. I think he's a hell of a quarterback, guys. Now, if I had to pick between Justin Fields or Jared Goff, I would 110% go with Justin Fields. I just think he's going to have a phenomenal game. I'm not saying he's going to sling it every single week. That's not the case. I believe in Justin Fields. I think he's a hell of a quarterback, and I think Chicago unlocked him and his ability to produce, yards on the ground. And I think he's an accurate quarterback. He can be a little bit more accurate, but he's learning. And I believe this is his second year in the NFL, and he's been doing phenomenal this season. So if you guys have him still available on the waiver wire, I would definitely pick him up. If you don't, sorry, but I would prefer going Justin Fields or over Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff isn't bad of a quarterback streamer either this week, because Chicago's defense isn't that good as well, right? We saw Tua Tagovailoa from Miami kind of just go, completely ape all over the Chicago's defense. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel here. If you guys do have Jared Goff, I do consider him a decent streaming option this week against the Chicago Bears. I do believe this is going to be a hell of an offensive game, meaning both quarterbacks should produce plenty of fantasy points for you. But if I had to pick, I would go Justin Fields over Jared Goff any day of the week. So, Minnesota Vikings and Buffalo Bills, guys. So, this is going to be a decent game. This is playing in Buffalo, I believe, and I think Josh Allen, if he plays, he is banged up. He did injure his UCL, which he had injured, I believe, back in 2018. We'll see how he plays. It makes me a little bit nervous, guys. From what I'm getting out of everything, guys, I think Josh Allen may sit this game. When it comes down to it, I think it's 50-50. It really just depends on how he feels, right? Obviously, that's kind of a given. But he did injure his UCL back in 2018. He injured it again. I don't know how accurate he's going to be with the football. I don't know, if he's going to be the usual Josh Allen that we usually see him play as, but it's going to be interesting to see. Keep your eyes open for that. I'm also going to be keeping you guys updated on this, so if he is out, I will do my best to get back to you guys and let you guys know, hey, he's out, make adjustments if needed. But if Josh Allen is in the game, I do expect this to be a Josh Allen game. I think he's going to do very, very well on the offensive side of the ball. Now, defense, Kirk Cousins has been playing good. I think the Buffalo Bills' defense is kind of banged up, so it gives Kirk Cousins a chance to do decent against the Buffalo Bills. But keep in mind, guys, Kirk Cousins against the Buffalo Bills, I just don't see it being that much of a good matchup for him. I do see him getting probably around 15 to 18 fantasy points, which is not bad, right? It's not good, but it's not bad. If I had a choice, obviously I would start Josh Allen over Kirk Cousins any day. But if you guys didn't have a choice and you guys need Kirk Cousins and you guys are just wondering how you think he's going to do or how I think he's going to do, I think he should have an okay game. I think he should do just enough to help your fantasy football team win. But again, it just depends on how the Buffalo Bills' defense comes out and plays. I think Josh Allen is a good choice for start. Kirk Cousins, I think he's okay. The Houston Texans taking on the Giants. This is playing, I believe, at MetLife Stadium, so it is playing in New York. I think Daniel Jones, guys, is an excellent streamer for this week against the Houston Texans. A lot of people are a little iffy about that because the Houston Texans do have a pretty good defense. I think they're okay. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good game. I think the Houston Texans are going to be able to kind of, in a way, slow him down a bit, but I don't think they're going to be able to do enough to beat or stop Daniel Jones from passing that ball. Houston Texans are 1-6. They are an okay team, but again, they are 1-6. So if I had to choose, I would go with Daniel Jones to start in my lineup over Davis Mills any day of the week. Davis Mills is okay, but again, Houston Texans are 1-6. My pick is definitely Daniel Jones and the New York Giants beating the Houston Texans in the MetLife Stadium. So, guys, now we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be played in Kansas City, so at Arrowhead Stadium. I think this is going to be a hell of a game. Now, obviously, guys, we would take Patrick Mahomes over Trevor Lawrence any day. Yes, Kansas City has a weaker defense. I get it. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to go out there and absolutely run and pass all over the Kansas City Chiefs' defense. I think they are a very well-disciplined team, and it's the Chiefs, right? They're not going to let somebody kind of go in there and pass all over them in their home field. Now, do I expect Trevor Lawrence to have an okay game? I do, because the Kansas City Chiefs' defense isn't that good either, but I'm not saying it's going to be, I'm not saying it's that bad where Trevor Lawrence is going to go in there and just start passing everywhere. I don't think that's the case. I think he's going to have an okay game. If you guys have nobody else to stream and you have Trevor Lawrence right now, I think he can do okay. He has some good offensive weapons like Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and another good one. I can't really think off the top of my head, but he has some good weapons. I have Christian Kirk on my lineup. I'm still debating on whether I should start him this week as a flex. I do not know yet, but I do think Christian Kirk is going to be. I think he's going to have a really good game. He is one of the most top paid wide receivers in the league, so you would only think for him to have a good game, right? However, though, he's been playing very inconsistent. And again, this isn't wide receiver talk at all. This is quarterback talk. I'm just kind of giving you guys an example because how good the wide receivers do is how good the quarterback does in a way, right? So Trevor Lawrence, I would start him if you guys have no other option. I think he's going to have an okay day. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, I would start him over anything, right? Patrick Mahomes. So that's kind of a given. I do favor Kansas City to win over the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Looking at the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. This is going to be a game where I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Derek Carr is very mediocre. I think he's going to have another mediocre type of day. I don't think he's going to be able to pass all over the Indianapolis Colts' defense. Even though the Colts are 3-5, they do have a strong defense. And the way Derek Carr has been playing over the course of this season, he's been very inconsistent. I don't think he's going to do a lot, but I think he's going to do just enough to kind of get by. So if you guys do have Derek Carr in your lineup, I would stream another quarterback. If you guys don't have a quarterback and it's just Derek Carr, obviously you guys have no other option to start Derek Carr. I think he's going to have an okay day. I don't think he's going to have a phenomenal or anything. I don't think it's going to be anything special. Again, I think it's just because Derek Carr has just been inconsistent. Sam Ehlinger, I would not start Sam. I think he's going to be, again, very terrible. He's going to have to prove a lot more to us to start him on our fantasy lineup because after the way he played against New England, that was a complete and utter crap show. That literally, guys, made me trade Pittman because you just really can't trust the quarterback situation and the whole front staff going on right now in Indianapolis. You just can't trust anybody at this point. So I think Jonathan Taylor has been inconsistent. I would try to avoid these players. If you guys don't have any other choice and you guys have to start Michael Pittman or Jonathan Taylor, I think they're good plug-in and goes, but I don't think they're going to produce that many points. I do favor the Raiders to win against the Colts this week. I don't think the Raiders are that good of a team, but I think they're going to do just enough to, get past the Colts. So that is that matchup. Nothing really special going on there. Next, guys, we're taking on the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. So we have Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers. Now, guys, I 100% would start Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers any day of the week. Aaron Rodgers is okay. He's been very inconsistent, and to be honest with you, he just has not had a good season this year. I don't know if it's because of the coaching staff. I don't know if it's because of the lack of weapons he has on the wide receiver side of the ball, or it's just Aaron Rodgers starting to decline. I don't think that's the case. I think Aaron Rodgers still has a lot to prove. He's younger than Tom Brady, and I don't think he's done yet. I don't think he's going to retire, but I do think he needs better offensive weapons, and I think that's what's really been prohibiting him from really kind of just being Aaron Rodgers. Even the running backs are kind of banged up. You have Dylan, he's the backup with Jones. Jones has been a little bit banged up. They're quite of a mess on the offensive side. The defense is okay. A lot of people think that Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard are going to kind of run all over Green Bay. I don't think so. They're playing in Lambeau, so it's obviously in Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to put up a hell of a fight. It's really going to come down to Aaron Rodgers and how well he plays. If they play like Aaron Rodgers usually plays, I think they're going to take Dallas. I think they're going to stop Dallas. I think it's going to be a major upset. So I do see Green Bay beating the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately, on this matchup. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have an okay game. I think he's going to have a better game than what he's been having. So keep an eye out for that. I would start Dak Prescott, though, over Aaron Rodgers just because Dak Prescott has been the one that's more consistent. But again, Aaron Rodgers isn't that bad of a streaming option this week either. I know, call me crazy, but that's what I'm saying. I think both of them are solid if you guys have nothing else to pivot to. Now, taking on the Arizona Cardinals, heading over to SoFi Stadium in California to take on the Los Angeles Rams. We have Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford. To be honest with you guys, I'm not really excited about any of these quarterbacks. I think Kyler Murray has done an okay job. I don't know. I wouldn't, if I had other options at quarterback, maybe like, honestly, guys, if you guys have no other option to start other than Kyler Murray, start Kyler Murray. I don't see him doing that good in LA. I think LA still has a decent defense, and Kyler Murray just really hasn't been playing that well. Now, a lot of people can say, oh, it's the coach, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. I've watched how Kyler Murray plays. I live in Arizona, and even though I'm not an Arizona fan, I just don't like how he's been playing. Now, has he done enough to give people good fantasy scores? Yeah, he's done a good job. I just wouldn't trust him this week against the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford is going to have a better day than Kyler Murray just because they are playing at SoFi and it's against the Cardinals. Cardinals have an okay defense. I get it, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop the attack with the Rams. I think this is going to be another game where it's kind of going to shock people. I do think the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals. I don't think it's going to be by much, but I do see them winning. Now, you guys can say, oh, well, the Rams, they don't have much on the offensive side of the ball. Everybody's hurt. They only got Cooper Kupp, and that's about it. I get it. They got Kupp, they got Robinson, they got Higbee, and I know Higbee hasn't really done much, but I do think the Rams are going to come out and win. I could be wrong. Again, that's just my opinion. Kyler Murray, yes, they have DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, they have a decent running back. They have some good weapons on the outside of the ball like Rondale Moore. I just don't think the Cardinals are clicking like they should be, and I don't know if that's going to be the start or decline of it against the Rams or not. So, again, that's my opinion. I think the Rams are going to take it. I don't think they're going to win by much, but I think they're going to win against the Cardinals. Monday Night Football. I will talk about the Monday Night Football on Sunday night and kind of give you guys my opinion on the quarterback situation there and kind of give you guys a whole kind of deep dive into that and who to start, who to sit for all players. Again, today was just talking about quarterbacks, who to start, who to sit, who to stream, so on and so forth, right? If you guys haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of cool stuff planned for this channel, guys, and I really want to make it fun. I want to give you guys my full attention, to give you guys my best recommendations, to start, sits, injuries, and just keep you guys informed and really grow this channel into something big. If you want to become part of the Fantasy Football Mafia, hit that subscribe button, guys, and I will see you on the next one. This is Rodney. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm out. Peace.